This Chad's Media production is brought to you by Alliance Bank. Visit us today at alliancebank.com.
Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, hit the ground and it go off. Yeah. Run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my
into week one. Obviously, I think the excitement level was there, but how were y'all feeling going into that week one match against Jacksonville?
First goal going into every season is to win the first game. And so, I was really proud of the guys. They had worked really hard during 2 days. We had scrimmaged, two good teams. And obviously, Lindell was really talented and showed us a lot of our weaknesses. And Will's point, we got a couple of things, cleaned up and we looked a little better. And so, absolutely, I think I was just as curious as everybody else was, just kind of see what we threw out there. And man, I was really proud of our defense week one. They played really well versus a good Jacksonville team. Offense did just enough, and found some big plays there at some crucial times. We had some more fourth down stops, and so I'm really proud of our week one effort. And obviously just extremely excited to get the win. I was proud of our first drive. We want to start fast, and so to be ready to play and to get the ball and to go score, I think that was a really, really awesome way to start the season. Just kind of gave us some momentum. Momentum helps every team. When the offense can go score, it kind of gives the defense kind of gets their shoulders a little bit higher, gives them some momentum as they run out there. And so I thought we were able to build on that. But to be ready to play at home and go get a touchdown on the first drive, I thought was really big for that game. One of our four staples on our plan to win is play great defense in the red zone. They're going to get down there. That's just part of football, and so you got to play great red zone defense. And so for our guys to respond that way and to get that stop there on the goal line, it was huge. Like I said, it's just something about. Fourth down stops are different than punts, and so with momentum in a football game, when you stop somebody on fourth down. The momentum that it gives your team is just a different momentum swing than forcing somebody to punt. And, a turnover on downs is really big. And so, man, to get that down there on the goal line in the first game of the season just kind of gave our guys the confidence that I think, we've carried with us throughout the year. To get out there and for our senior class, really, I was just happy, so proud for them. And they fought hard. They, been through a coaching change, been through a lot of things. And so for them to be able to get out there on the prim in front of a home crowd and to win the first game of the season, I was so happy for our players and our coaches.
What was the thought process now? Okay, we've got the first one. We're at home again. How do we keep this momentum going and get out to a 2-0 start?
Well, everybody was telling me that, the Mount Pleasant used to be a rivalry game, and so I hadn't been played in a while. And so I think that was kind of the angle we played is, hey, they're right down the street from us, and, we wanted to continue to get better, And so after that first goal, our goal the next 4 weeks, obviously, is to win. We want to win every game, but we want to improve. And so when we have our team meetings on Monday, I always tell the guys, man, we got to be a better team this Monday than we were last Monday. And we've been able to do that for the last 4 weeks. And so I really feel like we are a lot better team than we were, week one. And we made some mistakes in that game that we've fixed. We're still making mistakes. We have to practice, and that's why we have jobs as coaches, because we're never going to be perfect and play a perfect game. But I was just we want to continue to improve. And so after that first win, like I said, we still want to win, but man, we just want to continue to improve and make sure we are at our best, in these next 5 weeks when it counts. I try to focus on the game. I call the plays, and so I'm really just trying to focus on what I can control. Just getting our team ready to play, make sure we're in the right mindset, making sure they're loose. These days, kids are different. When I grew up, man, your coach would yell at you to quit talking in the locker room and to hush, and just kids are different these days. And so I want to make sure that they're in the right mindset, they're loose, they're ready to go have fun, and play hard. And so once again in that game we started fast. We got it. We didn't play we were never trailing in that game, and so I really just kind of focus on those kind of things. Focus on the first series. Kind of think about what we're going to expect to get out of them defensively, and so that's kind of what I focus on. At least it keeps my butterflies down, if you will, and just try to enjoy. What a wonderful atmosphere at the Prim. Just the crowd. There's no track. Everybody's so close to you. So we're extremely blessed with a great venue. I think one of the top venues in the state of Texas to play on Friday night. And so just to be out there, enjoy pregame music, and watch the guys run around is really enjoyable as a coach. Man, we're playing some young guys right now, and so to try to bring them along and just make sure they're consistent in practice so that it'll show up in a game. And so keeping things simple, Coach Easley has done an amazing job with those two guys. I mean, first 2 weeks we started a freshman and a sophomore at outside receiver. I've never done that in my career, and so those guys are young and don't have a lot of varsity experience. But man, they have really done a great job. Coach Easley, Coach Gresham also helps with our receivers during practice, and so both those guys have done an awesome job getting those two ready to play. You know, making sure they understand what to expect on Friday night, make sure that they know the plays and the reads and those kind of things. And so absolutely, I'll go a step further. So right now our freshman blue team is 5-0. And we have freshmen on the varsity, and so freshmen without them, they're still undefeated on the season. The freshman white team is 4-1 on the year, and the junior varsity is undefeated. And so as far as the young teams in our program have been very successful this year, and so to have even some other younger guys on the varsity, it's exciting. They obviously still have a long way to go. There's still plenty of things plenty of details that they still don't still have to work on. But absolutely, they care, they play hard, and they're real mature. Jackson is very, very mature young man. Obviously has older siblings that have been very successful here, and so he's been around athletics a lot. Skylar Lewis, I don't know that you can come from a better pedigree than he comes from, and so those kids are just built different, I would say, not your normal freshmen and sophomores that we're used to coaching. And so we have some really good young classes coming this way, and obviously some really good young players on the varsity as well. Jeff Stevenson as a freshman. He was our starting center the first game of the season, so he'll be back here pretty soon, and so we're excited to get him back. And we had another freshman on varsity the other night on the offensive line, Aiden McCarroll. And so got some young guys that are being moved up right now just for injuries and those kind of things. Just football is a game of attrition, but to be able to go pull some pretty elite players off of these sub-varsity teams is really exciting and obviously exciting for the future. And then we do try to spread it around. Obviously, we leaned on Malachi week one a lot. I think he had 25 carries. And I told him before the game I thought it would be 30, and so I was off by 5. But he was prepared. I mean, he's a tough kid, and he loves carrying the football, and so that wasn't an issue at all. But you got to get CJ back and get him some action, and we just try to spread it around. Make sure defenses can't focus on one guy. Make sure that everybody has. I mean, our goal would be everybody to have 4 catches and everybody to have 10 to 15 carries would be kind of our goal offensively, just so when they start breaking us down, there's not just one guy that we're focused on. We're focused on everybody, and we take what the defense gives us. I don't think as a coach you ever expect to play really well at the beginning of the year, just because you haven't had the game reps. And so, but we do have some really, really talented seniors who have played in a lot of football games here and played in 5A football games. And so I think our seniors have done a great job of being great leaders and also not only just being leaders off the field, but being leaders on the field as well, and playing at a really high level so that our young guys can follow behind them, and everybody's kind of moved in the same direction.
So you have first 2 home games, and then you start the road trips.
Sure. Hallsville's a really, really good team, and so it didn't go our way that night. I didn't think we started as fast as we needed to in a game like that, and we got behind. We won the second half. I think we woke up and played a lot better in the second half, but we build that kind of fight during off season. And so, that's not really something that we build during the season. We put them in a lot of adversity during off season. And so that's when we kind of build our fight. And they've invested a lot over the last 6 months. And what I found is, man, when you're invested in something, then you're going to care about it. We require a lot of them early mornings, after school. And so, man, when you have that investment in the program and you've overcome adversity every day, whether it's mat drills or whether it's in the weight room or out here in the turf, when you're or in the summer when it's 100 degrees outside and you're in the multi working out every day for 2 hours, when you're invested, you care. And so that's kind of what we found is, man, when you require a lot of a kid and they learn how to respond to adversity the right way, and it can really pay off during the football season. And I think that's what we're seeing right now.
Right after the kickoff, you've got the guys in the huddle right off the sideline. There's, I think, about 2 minutes left, and you're coaching like it's the start of the game. What are you telling those guys in that huddle?
Well, we were in 2-minute offense, and so I was just reminding them, hey, if you catch the ball, get out of bounds. Talking to Brady, if you can, don't take a sack. I think we did have a couple timeouts. We don't want to take a sack. We want to get out of bounds. The plays are already decided, so our 2-minute offense script is almost the same every week, and so the kids know the plays. And so, the first play was going to be the first play. We'd worked on that. The kids knew exactly what to run. Brady made a great throw to CJ. I totally disagree with the penalty. I think you can watch the film and see that he didn't cover up Matt. But anyway, that's a here and a there. But CJ made a great play, and we got it down to 1 score, and then you're going to onside kick and have a chance. And so, unfortunate, but a non-district game, and obviously there's a lot of lessons to be learned, and sometimes, and I, say this on camera, sometimes, not coming out on top is really motivating. I think if you win every game, there's some times, and I've done this in my career, where you win a bunch of them and you kind of lose your edge because you think everything's going to be easy. And so I think when you have one right there in the middle of your non-district schedule, when you don't come out on top and the kids they were disappointed, they were hurt. Our locker room was very disappointed because I think they felt like they could have won that game, and so did I. And so, man, it's really, really beneficial sometimes to refocus you, kind of, get your edge back and say, hey, if we don't play well, we can lose. We've got to come out and be focused every week, and that's the message for the next 5 weeks is, hey, everybody we play can beat us, and everybody we play, we can win. And so it's going to be about what kind of practices we have, what kind of focus we have, and what kind of energy and enthusiasm we bring to the game, and the mindset we bring to the game on Friday nights. We want to make you play us for 48 minutes, and so no matter what the score is, you're getting the Wildcats for 48 minutes, and that's our goal, and so far we've been successful at doing that.
Going into that Week 4 Van Alstyne game, y'all started very hot in that Van Alstyne.
So proud of our guys. Not everybody does that, as a team, and so to bounce back and have a dominant win like that after a road loss, man, I was really proud of them. And I didn't see any difference in our team that Monday at practice. I mean, they were back, focused, ready to go, resilient as ever. Sometimes the kids are a lot more resilient than the coaches are, and so I carry a loss with me pretty long throughout the weekend. But man, Monday morning we watched the film, we learned our lessons, and then Monday afternoon, man, they were ready to go. They were focused on Van Alstyne, great attitudes. Great energy level at practice that day, and so we all came in after practice. We're like, man, that was an awesome Monday. And so even from Monday on, it's kind of where you win the games is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so I thought our guys did a great job of refocusing and learning the lessons and working at what we needed to get better at. And man, it really showed in the first quarter there in Van Alstyne.
I want to talk about Matt Mitchell real quick,
absolutely,
especially in that game.
Yeah, he's just such an unselfish player. He's one of our leaders. And I think it helps us that he did play quarterback last year. So when you're the quarterback and you're getting it snapped to you and the ball's touching your hands every play, there's a lot of maturity there that you have to have and that you learn. And so man, when we got here, we've been coaching this offense for a long time. There's a certain person we're kind of looking for that spot. And so we met the kids the very first day. I went in the office and we talked to Coach Medlock, and I said, hey, I think I found our H-back. And Coach Medlock said, Matt Mitchell. And I said, yep, you saw him too? And he's like, yes, sir. And so both of us, this from meeting Matt that day, just kind of the way he's built. Obviously, he's a state power lifter, extremely strong, wonderful blocker. He's really physical, and so has great hands. He's fast. He plays catcher in baseball. He's the perfect person for that spot for us. And so I'm not surprised by anything he's done. We've used those kind of kids for a long time in our offense, and his production is just second to none. He runs great routes. He has great hands. He's smart. There's nothing he can't do on a football field, and I tell him that every week. And as the season goes on, we've designed some more stuff for him, and man, he's delivered every time. Had a big catch, last Friday night in 2-minute offense and got down the sideline. And so, wonderful player, very unselfish. But that's how you win. You have to have players that are unselfish that'll do whatever it takes to help the team win. And Matt Mitchell's definitely in the front of that line.
I want to talk about Cooper's touchdown.
Okay.
What's that like for you? Not only as a coach,
yeah,
but you're seeing your son, score a touchdown. How do you separate Coach Faircloth and Dad Faircloth?
Not very well sometimes, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that's why Coop is so resilient. He's been a ball boy since he was in kindergarten, and so he grew up there at Port Neches Groves on the sideline with me, and it's just I'll get emotional talking about it because it's special. It's sorry, you got me on that one. Oh. So many levels to it, Okay. Yeah, it's hard to take the dad hat off and the coach hat off. I pretty much wear them both at the same time. I really work hard not to make it, you're usually hardest on your kid. And so I don't know that I've always succeeded in that, but man, I'm so proud of him. He just, he's just overcome so much. Moving here his senior year, it's not easy to do. And so proud of him, proud of his work ethic. He understands how to win, and he understands what it takes every day. And he comes to practice, man, he's a coach's kid. He knows what everybody's supposed to do. He's a coach out there. You probably see him sometimes kind of telling other guys, what to run. He knows everything about the offense. He's run it, he's been around it since kindergarten. And so to watch him on the field, he scored a touchdown his sophomore year, got moved up, scored a touchdown sophomore year, scored a few touchdowns last year. To see him score a touchdown senior year is really special, for me and for our family. But yeah, just proud of all the guys. Everybody here has done a great job of taking him in. And just being great to him, welcoming him with open arms, and he feels like a big part of the team, and it's credit to the players here, credit to the families here for welcoming us and making us feel like we've been Wildcats for a long time. And so to have him out there on the field with me is really special, and something I'll definitely never forget. He knows how to work, he knows how to practice, conscientious about everything, just doing the small things every day to make sure that he's ready to play on Friday night. And we're very blessed that he's having the year that he's having. Something about it, I don't know what it is, honestly. And I've grown up, and I've coached coaches' kids, guys on our staff who, they're all pretty much the same kid. They really are. Just they understand the game. They've been around it. I guess when you stay on the sideline for 100 games in your life, getting out there, you kind of understand what to expect and what it takes to go be successful. And I've seen it through a bunch of coaches' kids, and they're all conscientious. They all do the small things. They understand what it takes, and they're really good teammates.
Coming into this week, and you're up against a 4-0 Liberty ILO team,
sure.
And for only the second time this year, you're favored to win. Were you able to feel kind of a shift from that, or do y'all not pay any attention to the outside?
Man, I try not to pay any attention to it, just because, everybody we play is well coached. They have good players, and so, those kind of things don't matter. You have got to be ready to play, and so rankings go out the door, records go out the door, all those kind of things. It's just 48 minutes of playing and trying to do your best and putting your best foot forward. So it just still comes back to, let's focus on the game plan. Let's focus on what we did this week to improve. And let's just be in the moment and work hard and make good decisions and put the kids in good situations where they can be successful. And so far we've been able to do that. And so yeah, Liberty ILO, very well coached. Obviously some incredible players. And then once again, defense, played incredible. Some more goal line stands. Obviously, field position, we did really well on special teams. Had some really good field positions. Second half, I thought we got a little bit sloppy with some penalties, but that they're high school kids. That's going to happen sometimes. And so, to stay even with them and to win by 18 was a really fun homecoming night. We talk about it all the time. There's just every game's going to bring different adversity, and so we talk about it all the time. Like what kind of team we're going to be when we're down. And so we talk about it. I try to talk about every situation with them, just so we're not going to act like we're going to be in front every game. Eventually we're going to be down 6-0, 7-0, and for our offense, we had to fake a punt to keep the ball, but we to keep the ball and go down and score and answer, and then go up 7-6, and then field position. We ran a trick play and scored, just kind of take the momentum back from them. I think was really crucial there in the first quarter. But yeah, just really proud of our guys for hey, we're going to be down 6-0, 7-0 sometimes. We've got to know how to respond, and we were able to do that the other night. Something we've worked for. I think the kids were finally glad we finally called it. We've been working it since the first day of two-a-days. So August the 1st, that play goes in. And so, however, it's September so it's a month and a half we've been running that play. And so I think they were like, we don't believe you're ever going to call it. And so, it kind of gave us the look we were looking for. Obviously, it's a check with me situation, so we don't just call it. They've got to line up the way we want them to line up, and so we got the look we wanted. It's we feel confident if they give us that look, then we can be successful on it. So we're not concerned with where we are on the field or anything like that. It's just, hey, we line up, we look over, they're lined up the way we expect them to, then we punt. If they're lined up and giving it to us, then we call it. And so it'll be the same check this week. And they gave us the look we wanted, and the front, Drew Hodges, Nick Cantillo, I think Sean Dials in there as well, and then Matt's the person protector every week, and so it's like I said, we've been doing it since August 1st, and so when you do something for a month and a half, you get pretty good at it, and you have a chance to make 5 yards, and so Matt did a great job of running up in there and getting not dancing around, but just going and putting his head down and getting 5 yards and keeping the drive alive.
Speaking of trick plays, the CJ to Jackson Hare touchdown.
Yes. All of our trick plays are based off of other plays that we run. And so we've been tossing the ball to Malachi, and we tossed the ball to CJ a couple of times. And so over the last 2 weeks, so the play's been in for 3 weeks. So the last 2 weeks, we've actually tossed the ball I think we tossed the ball 4 times versus Van Alstyne. And so we had tossed the ball 4 times. So kind of setting that play up. And so, there's nothing, everything's strategic. And so, it looks just like another play that we had been running. And so, they're working on that play that we ran versus Van Alstyne. And so the trick play comes off of that. And so, we're not always that open, honestly, but kind of find the moment to call it, and so short punt. We got the ball at the 38, first play of the drive, kind of a quick 3 and out for them. Let's get out there and surprise them. And, it always looks really smart when it works. Because it's a pass, I'm looking at the protection. And so Cooper was out there on the edge and Matt Mitchell. So Coop and Matt Mitchell had Matt Mitchell and Ridge Swafford, the right tackle, have really, really crucial blocks. And so I was kind of making sure all those 3 blocks got handled so that CJ will have time to throw it. And so I'm watching the protection, making sure. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Jackson take off down the sideline. He fakes blocks, then he releases to kind of set it up. And so the corner and the safety both saw everybody blocking, so they think it's a run like it was versus Van Alstyne. And so anyway, Jackson kind of fakes and then goes, and it worked really well. It's been a really fun play there at home and kind of taking the momentum back in the game. Feels like it's slow motion, and the ball's in the air for that long. Really, my compassion is for Jackson because, that ball, he's staring at it for a really, really long time. I think we can all have compassion for him in that moment. And so, like I said, the ball's up in the air. He's wide open. He's like, let's finish it, man. And we've been working it for 3 weeks. And so we worked that trick play twice a week. So that was, probably the 8th to 10th time that we've done it, and all those were in practice. And so we've been incomplete in practice before. That we don't catch it every time or it throws off or whatever. And so, you just gotta roll it out there, and hopefully you've practiced it enough. And CJ made a great throw. It hit him in stride, and so easy catch by Jackson, and a fun 6 points. I thought it was an awesome night to be a Wildcat, and to pull off the win in front of a big homecoming crowd was really exciting. This is kind of halftime, and so we want to. The first half we're really proud of, but we've accomplished nothing. We that's kind of what we told them. I told them, guys, I got great news for you. You're 4-1. The bad news is you've accomplished absolutely nothing for the season. And so that's that's the good and the bad of it. Yeah, we're proud of being 4-1. Don't get me wrong, but as far as our goals are concerned, we've accomplished absolutely nothing. And so we've got 5 tough district games ahead of us. Got to use this bye week to get better. And so, we've got plenty to work on. I don't think you can watch the first 5 games and anybody can, there's plenty of things we've got to get better at. And so we've got 6 practices before we play community. And so we've got 6 practices to get better. It does give you an opportunity to work some individual stuff, just work some more one-on-one with the coaches, not as much group. Hey, let's go back to some fundamentals with taking the right step, or, just some of those things, and just kind of getting back to the basics, the fundamentals of who we want to be. That maybe during these 5 weeks you don't have a lot of time to work on some basic things, and so it gives you time to kind of reset. Let's get back to the basics. Let's get back to the fundamentals, and let's focus on that first district game and starting off the right way. We won't talk about anybody else but community, and so all we're going to do is focus on them. Try to find weaknesses. Try to find things we can do. They have a great coach. They've got great players, and communities. They're talking to their kids just like we are. Let's go get a playoff spot. And so, every game's going to be a battle, going to be a fight. And I'm glad that we have played some tough teams in non-district that kind of get us ready for that. I think we're battle tested and ready to go. Fight these other 5 teams for those playoff spots. And so, as we, if we're fortunate enough to win, first 2. 3 district games like anybody else, then yeah, obviously we'll, those goals will change. We'll, try to go get some other things. But right now we're just talking about community and one game at a time, and trying to go 1-0 in district. Everybody in our district, I think, as you look at everybody across the board, I think anybody can beat anybody on any Friday night. I think a lot of our teams in our district are well coached. We've got everybody's got some talented players, including us. And so, it's just going to be about the ball bouncing your way and having great practices and being mentally ready to go, and kind of forgetting about the first 5 weeks and just really focusing on these 5 games. And that's new for me. I came from 5A. We had 7 district games. When it shrinks to 5, it's a good thing. There's less district games. There's less wins you have to get. But, man, it puts a lot of pressure on you with those 5. And so I'm kind of looking at it a different way. The magnitude of them is so big. And so, and everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's 0-0. And, looking at trying to make the playoffs. I think that's everybody's goal right now in the state of Texas. And so we're all 0-0. Let's go try to make the playoffs and and see how long we can stay in the tournament. And so that's kind of how we look at it. And like I said, extremely proud of the first 5 weeks. We've gotten better. That was our goal. And got 2 more weeks to get ready for community and try to go win the first district game at the Prim.
2020, there were 16,091 people in Sulphur Springs. When you make the playoffs, how many playoff T-shirts you want to sell?
Man, I'd like 17,000. That's it, and that's our goal. I mean, we want to be. I don't think you can build tradition in a football program, and this is how I sold it at P&G as well. I mean, we want to be a playoff team, and so that's. However long we can stay in, let's stay in as long as we can. But man, I don't think you can. When you talk about a football program that we want to build here at Sulphur Springs that's had past success, that tradition is there. I mean, not too long ago, they were state champs, and so we want to bring back. We want to be a perennial playoff team. We want to be a team that's known to make the playoffs every year. Let's get in there and man, let's try to win 1 playoff game, 2 playoff games. Let's practice on Thanksgiving. That was always my goal at P&G is man, let's have a Thanksgiving Day practice. And so just some of those things are really fun. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes some luck. It takes a good team. And so, but that's what we want to be known for here at Sulphur Springs is not only being a competitive program, but being a playoff team every year and building some consistency that way. To make the playoffs in your first season would be really special. And not for me, but I mean for our coaching staff, but for the players. These seniors have gone through quite a bit, and man, for them to persevere like they have, to work hard, to have done everything we've asked of them, to be able to make the playoffs their senior year would be really special. And so we're going to work hard at it these next 5 weeks to try to put them in that situation.